It goes from
Hi, Annie. Welcome. We're just calling back breakout rooms. Good morning, Diane. Just good to see you. Maybe another 60 seconds here. We got a lot of bustling going on in the Zendo this morning. Diane and Gary just walked in. We'll see if they have a seat somewhere. We maybe need another 3 chairs. I can take the welcome desk. We're out of chairs this morning. Come on in. Welcome, Zoomers. Thank you for being patient with us this morning. We have a little bit of musical chairs here before we get started. Hope you all had a chance to say good morning to one another. See if I can get this. Oh, there I am. I think we're both in the screen. Yeah. Okay. Still finicky. All right. Full house, not an empty seat in the house this morning. Welcome back, everyone, to those of you online. Thank you, all of you who made it here. I know it's a little drizzly outside, but we had some last minute, so we appreciate you all being here to share the Dharma together. It's with great pleasure that I get to introduce this morning Christine DuSell, who's been a member of the Zen Life and Meditation Center since...
What's the matter?
Oh, let me please mute yourselves, those Zoomers online. If you could be so kind as to mute yourself. I know sometimes it just automatically unmutes you after the breakout room. All right, take 2. It is with great pleasure that I get to introduce this morning Christine DuSell, who has been a member of Zen Life and Meditation Center since 2010 and started a regular meditation practice shortly thereafter. She has participated in many parts of our Sangha over the years. She has served as the center's board of directors. She has participated in the Sangha community, still is a daily meditation timekeeper, study circle steward, women's circle steward, ethics circle steward, Sunday morning Zen speakers. We see her today. Also the co-steward of the kinship circle, and I'm not sure if that's it, but that's all I'm going to say today. And she's also, see here, she's also a certified ZLMC mindfulness and meditation teacher. I knew I was leaving something out. Her undergraduate degree, if you want to know a little bit more about Chris.
So long ago.
A social welfare from Aurora University and a master's in social work from U of I. Go Illini. So with that, I'll pass the mic to you. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. The only thing I'll say about that long list of activities here at the Zen Center is it's just a reflection of how much this place means to me. You know, I want to be involved in it. It's a way of me deepening my practice, is to be not just a standby participant, but actually in the center. And in that way, I really get to benefit from the Sangha. And this is a beautiful Sangha. It really means a lot to me, so I'll just say that. And I also want to say, you know, when I was a kid, we used to, at the church I went to with my family, we used to have a Mother's Day dinner. And there was always questions about, like, who came the farthest, you know? And we get to do that today because here in the room, we have Susan Zenseman from Massachusetts. It's so wonderful to have you. Thank you for coming. Oh. And online, we have Annie from Penzance, England. So if there were flowers on the table, you would get to take them home. Because that was the deal with the Mother's Day dinner, you know? So it's really wonderful to have you both here. Thank you. So today, the title of my talk is Meditation is Not a Test. And I gave a talk just a couple of months ago, the end of February. And in it, I shared a quote from an article. The quote started, meditation is not a test. And then there was an end to the quote. Does anybody who was here remember what it was? It is a refuge. Meditation is not a test, it is a refuge. When I read it then, and when I read it now, I feel it palpably in my body. It's sort of an exhalation. I think it's the permission to not try so hard. It's not a test. Coupled with the idea of refuge that results in that sort of just like relaxation in my body. I still get it, even, I've been working on this talk this week and it's still there. Meditation is not a test. We try so hard in our lives, don't we? Everything seems like a striving. We try to be smart, competent people in our jobs. We try to be the best parents ever, or the best daughters ever. We try to be good neighbors. We try to be healthy and eat right and exercise enough. Keep up with current events in a meaningful way. Have a nice house, a nice car, a landscaped yard, great vacations. I mean, on and on and on. We are strivers. We try so hard, like all of life is a test. Am I getting an A? And our nervous systems and our brain are sort of built for constantly looking for, am I okay? Am I okay? Am I okay? Am I okay? Constantly scanning the environment and asking that question and wanting to know, do I meet up? Do I match up? Am I okay? And it's exhausting for most of us. At least sometimes it's exhausting. I know for myself, sometimes I realize it's not so much that I'm doing that's exhausting, it's all of the stuff that's going on in my head that's on top of what I'm doing. That's the part, the mental work of am I okay, am I okay, am I doing okay? That's the part that's exhausting. Tara Brach says, perfection is not a prerequisite for anything but suffering. So there's, am I okay, am I okay, am I okay? And then comes along this simple little sentence, meditation is not a test, it's a refuge. Does that resonate with any of the rest of you? Yeah, any feelings you have about that? Yeah. It's a reminder that not all of life has to be about striving, achieving, or attaining. Stepping out of the busyness, stepping out of our endless pursuit of getting somewhere else is perhaps the most beautiful offering we can make to our spirit. That's another quote by Tara Brach. Let me say that again. Stepping out of the busyness, stepping out of our endless pursuit of getting somewhere else is perhaps the most beautiful offering we can make to our spirit. Yeah, I see some heads nodding. So don't we all need a little bit more refuge, a mental and or physical space to release, really release all that we are carrying and just be however we are for the time that we sit? That's the piece of that that's a refuge. I was really taken by the fact that this quote speaks to me so deeply. And it made me really curious about it. Like, what am I bringing to my meditation practice? You know, why is this speaking? Why isn't this just of course it's a refuge? You know, of course it is. We all know that. No, that's not the reaction I was having. You know, it really spoke to me like oh, which made me curious. Okay, what is the approach I'm bringing? What is the attitude I'm bringing to my meditation? Do I approach meditation as a refuge? Or do I approach it like so much of the rest of my life, as another test, another thing to achieve, accomplish, or attain? So I really did think about this, and I just want to share with you some of the thoughts I came up with about when I asked myself that question. Am I doing it right? That's one of the questions that came up for me when I thought about how I approach meditation. I've been a member since 2010. I've been sitting for 14 years, and still I will occasionally ask myself, am I doing it right? You know, I'm not enlightened yet, so apparently I'm not doing it right. Right? I mean, that's a real test mentality, thinking that there is a right way and a wrong way, and all I have to do is find that right way, and then my life will be enlightened. Another thought that came up is that I will sometimes think to myself or say to someone else, I had a really good meditation today, or I had a really crappy meditation today. There it is, test mentality, right? There's good and there's bad. And that's not really the way meditation works. We're here to be present to whatever comes up. We're here to welcome whatever comes up. If we have to bring ourselves back to our breath every 5 seconds, that's our meditation that day. That's just what it is. It's not a good or bad meditation. Boy, some of these are hard to share because they're kind of getting into my vulnerabilities of what I think about. It seems like Joe or Sue or Peter meditates a lot. More than me. Right? Or so-and-so is so still and serene, and I am fidgeting through the entire meditation, right? Again, I'm thinking of it as a test. I'm supposed to be a certain way. I'm supposed to sit a certain way. I'm supposed to do it a certain number of minutes a day, you know, whoever Joe or Sally is that day, right? So worrying if you're keeping up with the Joneses is definitely also a sign that you're approaching meditation as a test and not a refuge. Do I ever beat myself up or feel guilty if I miss a day or two of meditating? Yep. It's in the back of my head. I didn't meditate today. Or sometimes it starts even earlier in the day. I know I'm not going to meditate today. You know, I already know. I've already kind of made a decision that it's not going to fit into my day. You know, certainly some discipline is required of us to create and maintain this practice. But I don't recall ever being told by either of the Roshis that self-flagellation is an important part of this practice. You know, I just don't remember it. It's just not part of how we should be thinking about this. Some days we're going to miss. Some weeks we're going to miss. And then we just get back right into it. You know, it's not a judgmental practice. It's not got a lot of musts to it. It's a gentle, loving practice that we have for ourselves. One place that we can sit and just appreciate all of who we are. I've sort of already mentioned this one. Am I concerned about my inability to quiet my mind? It's another version of am I doing it right? You know, I'm sure all of you too have heard someone say to you, "Oh, I can't meditate because I just can't get my mind quiet. It just won't quiet for me." And I don't usually say this because they haven't asked me, but in my head I say, "Welcome to the club." Right? I mean, we all have that. It doesn't go away. In fact, noticing our thinking and bringing ourselves back, that's the practice of meditation. That's the practice of building our sense of our awareness of where our mind is. You hear people say, "Do you know where your mind is? Do you know where your thoughts are?" That's what meditation is us training ourselves to be aware of where is my thinking right now. So if I have a meditation where that happens to me, 350 times in 20 or 30 minutes, I'm just strengthening my awareness. I'm strengthening my ability to pay attention to where my mind is and bring it back. So that again is us thinking that there is a right and a wrong way and bringing a test mentality. Another one, I have written this down here as do you ever, but really what I should be saying, I have found myself saying to a friend, a family member at some point, "Oh yeah, I meditate every day." There's just a little hubris. And in some contexts, it's perfectly fine to be talking about our meditation practice. But in other contexts, it could be a hint that there's a little bit of pride, a little bit of achievement mentality, a little bit of thinking that I'm getting my A. So sort of look how good I am. I passed the test. So all of these things are present in me from time to time. Have I missed any? Are there any ideas or thoughts that you guys have that you think are about bringing a test mentality to your meditation? I'm actually asking a question. If you think of something, raise your hand. Or just a couple of nods if some of these sounded familiar to you. Yeah.
Chris, I have one. What about how you sit for meditation? That comparison of whether you're sitting on a cushion, if you're on a bench, on a chair, and how long you can stay in that position. I feel like those are other test-like
Yes.
ideas.
Yes, they are. And it's so wonderful here at this Sangha that we have, choices. And yet in our own minds, we can still get the comparison going. Mark.
We do it first thing in the morning. Oh my God. We didn't do it first thing in the morning.
Oh, Mark is saying, that we didn't do it first thing in the morning, that can, if we didn't do it first thing in the morning, that's also something that can leave a sense of not doing it right. Yeah. Robin.
Yeah, and how about how long you do it?
Oh.
10 minutes, 20 minutes, the full time?
Yeah, we have a daily online Monday through Saturday meditation practice, but the Monday through Friday is 7 to 7:45, and you can come whenever you want, and you can leave whenever you want. There's no bell. There's a bell at the beginning at 7, and there's a bell at 7:45. This is online, and yeah, I think that's, you can say to yourself, "Oh, I'm coming in at 10 after again." Everybody's already here. Yeah. Yeah, Gary.
You lead as, I'm sorry. sort of elitism. One time in various meditations of various sanghas, I sat for 2 hours, and probably 2 or 3 times. But I found myself later on talking to people about meditation, and they didn't know a whole lot about it, and they say, oh yeah, I sat for 2 hours, which had zero relevance to...
Yeah. All of these things are present in us, and that's why I think that the simple statement, meditation is not a test, it's a refuge, spoke to me. It woke me up. It asks me to be curious about the attitude I bring to my practice, and it asks me to be aware of my thoughts again. So when I bring an attitude to meditation of being a test to achieve, or to something to power through, or something to deal with, or strive to accomplish, it's yet another thing in my day I have to do, right? It becomes something to check off my list. And that makes it easier to push away, to make an excuse for why I can't do it today. It's a hill I don't want to climb today. I don't have time today. I'm not in the right mental space. I just really need a self-care day where I have no shoulds or musts. I make meditation a daily decision rather than a vow or a commitment I've made, which changes it completely when you've made a commitment. And I'm not trying to say you need to do it every day. I'm definitely not here to say that. I'm just sort of illustrating for myself how I can get in the way of appreciating meditation in my day. I miss seeing it, experience it as nourishment, as nurturing, as comfort and support, even as love. That's essential to my day. And when I was thinking about this, I wondered if the sense of meditation as a test rather than a refuge is possibly behind some of our trepidation of retreats, right? Because everybody wonders, how much do I have to sit on a retreat? Can I do it? But we're seeing it as a test rather than seeing it as a refuge. If we fully appreciated that meditation is a refuge, we'd be longing for retreats. And maybe some of you are, maybe some of you are. So what would it mean to appreciate that meditation is a refuge? So I found this little piece that I want to read. It says, meditation opens a place of refuge. Meditation opens a place of refuge in us. Most people don't have a safe place in their lives where they can simply be with no expectations. No expectations. They all come from us, right? They don't know of a place of unconditional and unlimited love. Whether work, home, family, friends, or place of faith, there always seems to be some demand, some need to be other than who we are. Refuge is a safe place where we are sheltered. Nothing is expected. Everything is welcomed. Unlimited acceptance of things the way they are. Meditation takes us underneath the stream of me, below our strong ego, which is where the striving comes from, right? Below the strong ego is simply awareness, where we can rest. Thinking about meditation as a refuge called to mind for me a few of the different metaphors that have helped me throughout the years about thinking about just that place of awareness. One is a meditation that we used in the foundations class. I'm not sure if it's still used, the underneath the sea. Okay, it is. But so some of you have heard this one, but we ask participants to imagine themselves fully submerged and fully supported in a deep sea. So we might say to people, yes, you can breathe. This is just in your imagination, so you can breathe. So it's fully supported and fully submerged in a deep sea, just floating peacefully. You can see the surface, so you can still see maybe waves, the sky, maybe even kids playing in the water above you, but you're underneath. That's one way of thinking about it. Another one that I really love is from John Kabat-Zinn, or I heard it from John Kabat-Zinn, is thinking of myself as a mountain. And on that mountain experiences spring, summer, fall, winter. It experiences storms. It experiences people, animals, all of that going on the surface of the mountain. And the mountain just stands. It's just there, solid, even though all of this life is going on at the surface. There's this underneath that is just solid and aware. And then the third one I've heard before is like being behind a waterfall. Water is all the thoughts in your mind, everything that's going on in your daily life, and it's just falling in front of you and you're behind it. Quiet, you can maybe listen to it, you can see it, you can hear it, but you're not of it. And the idea is that below or behind or above your ego, your small self, is this experience of awareness, your Buddha nature, your self with a capital S. In the foundations class, we talk about it as rim and hub. If you think about a bicycle tire or wheel, it's got a rim, and then it's got that circle in the middle, the hub. And the rim is your life, your day-to-day life, everything, all of the people you interact with, all of your opinions, all of your thoughts, everything you're doing. And the hub in the middle of that wheel is your awareness. And meditation strengthens that hub of awareness so that you know when you need to sort of move out of the craziness of life that can be and move to that place of awareness. It strengthens that ability in us. So when we can spend time in this space of refuge or awareness or hub, our bodies can release some of their tension, and we get that sensation I experience when I read that statement. We get sort of that, our hearts can open. Last week, Jackie gave a beautiful talk about opening our hearts. I hope some of you heard that. And when we open our hearts, we can have compassion for ourselves. And when we have compassion for ourselves, we have compassion for others. When we're sitting in that place of awareness, our ego's rigidity relaxes just a little bit, and we can begin to see delusions in the rest of our life. It helps us to be less striving and accomplishment focused in our larger lives, not just on the cushion. So I don't want this idea of meditation as a refuge to be yet another goal we add to our meditation, right? That meditation must always feel like a refuge. And it also wouldn't be accurate to say that meditation isn't sometimes challenging, because it can be challenging, right? Sometimes Mara comes to visit. Distractions, afflictions, emotions. We can hold this too. Sharon Salzberg says, meditation can be a refuge, but it is not a practice in which real life is ever excluded. The strength of mindfulness is that it enables us to hold difficult thoughts and feelings in a different way, with awareness, balance, and love. So maybe just use this quote as a way of exploring the attitude that you bring to your practice. Notice when what the attitude that you bring has an element of striving or attainment or achievement or test mentality. That's all, just notice it. And to the extent that you can, let it go. Remind yourself that meditation can also be the one place where you can just hold whatever's coming up without judging it. So I want to close with offering ourselves a little bit of refuge, but before I do that, I just want to open it up if anybody has any comments about what I've shared. We can have a little conversation or let people share.
Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for that wonderful talk. It's inspiring, and you lifted the lid on, meditation as something that has to be done a certain way, A, B, C, D, whatever. I remember when I first started, I got into meditation thinking, oh yeah, I'll be able to get by on 5 to 6 hours a night sleep. Well, 10 years later, I let that delusion go. And I really am very grateful for your talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Annie. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Ken.
Ken.
I agree. This was a wonderful talk. I love your Dharma talks because they
Thank you.
very easily slide right to the heart of the matter, and I don't even realize I'm there, and then we're there. So I love that. Thank you. But for me, one of the inflection points was just making a very simple switch in my head from I have to meditate to I get to meditate. And it's similar, but it for me, it's, this is a treat I'm giving myself. I don't always do it as well as I would like. I still fall into that. But to me, I felt, much better when I'm like, I get to.
Yeah, that's great. It's a nice shift. Mark, if you can give it to Mark. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Wonderful. I just want to say hi, Annie. It's great to see you, and I hope you're well. Chris, lovely, lovely. I agree with what Ken just said, right to the heart of the matter. So much so that I'm giving a talk on the 19th, and I was going to be talking about joy. And the joy, I'm not now, because the joy I was going to be talking about was exactly what you spoke about this morning. So thanks for doing that and giving me an opportunity. And I'm going to be talking about something that I'm going to call, because I've just decided. You always have to have a backup.
Yes, you do.
As we walk by, and I'll just let people think, oh, I think I want to hear that. And I just want to say, just a question to everybody. So what are we taking refuge from?
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Susan.
Thank you. I wanted to mention the word refuge also. And what a treat, what a gift to feel the word refuge for the number of minutes you've been speaking. And you said something about nourishment, safety, love, openness, and your body language did this as you mentioned refuge. And your other body language did this about what's in the head. And it was very interesting watching you sink in a wonderful way when you said the word refuge. And refuge, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, safety, nourishment, love, openness. So thank you very much for the word refuge today.
Thank you, Susan, and thanks for noticing. I think that I can appreciate how my body probably changed.
Go ahead, Jackie. Are you speaking?
Lovely talk.
Can you speak up a little bit? It's a little hard to hear.
A little bit better? I'm sorry, is this a little bit better?
Oh, yeah, that's great.
I apologize, I'm unable to get my camera on right now. But thank you so much for this beautiful, gentle permission to give myself some grace in my meditation. And one thing that I'm realizing listening to you is that the judgment and the test that comes up for me is I will allow myself to be on the cushion to deal with an issue that I have. And if it doesn't go away in enough time, I think I've been telling myself that I must not be meditating right. because it's not solving the problem, it's not easing my mind or stopping the rumination. So I appreciate your talk, because it's just another opportunity for me to let go of that and not get another opportunity to suffer in the suffering. So thanks so much.
Thanks for that. We are really good at figuring out ways to suffer. It's just amazing. So thanks for sharing, Jackie.
Thank you. I especially like the part about retreats. Thank you. I especially like the part about retreats because even though I've been on retreats before, I've come to think of them as like, I would just drive myself crazy, just like running around in circles and, feel caged in or, no disrespect, but in my mind kind of thinking. And when you were talking, I also felt that sense of relief, just refuge speaking. So thank you.
Thank you. Those of us who have been on retreat, I know many of us have, it's very interesting. You do go in with trepidation, and even though by day 3, you're going to start sliding in to the refuge part. It's a beautiful thing. So, Robin, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for bringing us the word refuge this morning. I love that word. And it really gives a different context for my meditation. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Robin. So I just want to take the next 3 minutes or 4 minutes and for us to offer ourselves a bit of refuge to close this. And it's just a little longer version of a loving kindness meditation. So if everybody could just find a comfortable seat. Take a few breaths. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be held in loving kindness. May I feel safe and at ease. May I feel protected from inner and outer harm. May I accept myself just as I am. May I touch deep, natural peace. May I know the joy of being alive. May my heart and mind awaken. May I find refuge within my own being. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. For those of you who are able, please join us in the community room. Melanie brought snacks today for Kinship Hour. We'd love to have you for conversation and fellowship. Those of you on Zoom, thank you for joining us. We send our love to you and enjoy the day today.
Thanks, everybody.
I'd love to have a copy of your ending.
Oh, sure. I'd be happy to send it to you. I was gonna text you today.
I know I did.